What if I told you that being broke isn't just about how much money you make? It's about the habits, beliefs, and decisions you repeat every day. In this video, you'll discover the 10 hidden reasons that keep millions of people trapped in financial struggle, and by the end, you might recognize the one that's holding you back. 10 reasons people are broke. If everyone wants to be financially successful, then why isn't everyone wealthy? The answer isn't a simple one. But I have created this list to help show some of the destructive behaviors, mistakes, and ideologies that people fall into that keep them from achieving success. Not all of these points will apply to you, but identifying the ones that do will help you reach your goals. 10. They are unable to manage their state. By state I mean your physiological and emotional state. Simply put, this is how you feel in the moment. You can be the most talented person in the world, but if you are in a disempowered emotional state, you can't achieve crap. You are in a disempowered state if you feel overwhelmed, uncertain, or fearful. These will influence your decisions and undermine your ability to reach your aspirations and goals. If you find you are constantly experiencing these, you are only setting yourself up for failure. As destructive as the disempowering states are, achieving an empowering state will give you the mental edge and attitude that you need to be successful. Here is a list of empowering states for business: certainty, confidence, clarity, courage, conviction, ambition, and passion. By remaining in these states the majority of the time, you will be better equipped to handle the hurdles that you will encounter. I understand that you can't manage your state every minute of every day. You are not a robot. We live in a world where stuff happens, but when things start to go awry, that's when state management really matters. When something goes wrong, most people create a bullshit story to justify why they can't have what they want. It stops them from being honest with themselves and seeing things as they really are. If you are able to manage your state during a setback to your plans, you can come out of it stronger by thinking your way through the following steps. Imagine your life as a map. Your goal, wealth and success. Step 1. See things as they really are. Step 2. See things as better than they are. Step 3. Make a plan to get there. 9. They set impotent goals. The reason most people are not successful is not because they set their goals too high and miss them, it's because they set their goals too low and hit them. If your goals are low and you keep hitting them, then you need to raise your ambitions. You need to have a continuing dedication to going further than those around you. Don't set your goal for average because average sucks. On the other hand, don't set your goals so high that they become unrealistic because people abandon unrealistic goals. Instead, set your goals just above your comfort zone so that they inspire you to continue working toward them. The right goal will make you want to secure the future for not only you, but also your family. The proper goal will give you wealth and money, which is simply a way of achieving freedom. 8. They subscribe to The Secret. The philosophy outlined in the book The Secret is not only counterproductive, it is a load of crap. According to The Secret, the way to gain success is to go into a quiet room in your house, turn off the lights, close the shades, sit on the couch, and imagine a check with a big number. If you believe in The Secret, eventually this check should show up at your door. Does this work? No. Why would it? If this is your strategy for success, the only thing that will eventually show up in your mailbox is an eviction notice. I believe in manifestation, but I believe you have to take action and go out and meet it. You simply will not achieve success or wealth if you don't take action towards it. I tried The Secret and nothing happened. I worked towards my goals, and I achieved success. 7. They have limiting beliefs about life and money. Poor people believe they are creatures of circumstance. Because of this, life happens to them. Rich people believe they are creators of circumstance. Because of this, they create opportunities within their lives. There isn't any more destructive belief in the world than to think that life happens to you. Here are 3 things that happen to you when you believe that you don't create your own destiny. 1. You play the blame game. You blame anyone and everyone for why you don't have what you want. You blame the government, your family, your boss, the economy, or the people on Wall Street. If you do this, you are powerless to achieve success. 2. You justify your situation to yourself and to those around you. You use sentences that start with "it is because." For example, "it is because the economy stinks that I'm not where I want to be," or "it is because people are unfair that I don't have what I want," or "it is because money doesn't really matter that I don't have as much as I would like." By justifying your current situation, you accept your current situation. 3. You complain. What you focus on, you attract and move toward. When you complain, what do you focus on? All the crap in your life. And if you focus on all the crap in your life, what do you become? A magnet that attracts more crap. Also, you must distance yourself from those around you who complain, as they may influence your state in a negative way. Poor people believe money doesn't matter. Rich people value money and know it matters. I'm not saying it is the end-all, be-all, but it is a beautiful tool. When you have it, you can use it in countless ways, to help others, travel, or take care of your parents. Money allows for the freedom to do the things that you want to do. I am not saying that money creates happiness, but a lack of money is a passport to misery. I say solve the money problem and then solve the higher problems afterward. 6. They choose bad mentors. You must be careful who you choose as your mentor. People without money are very quick to offer their advice, and the world is full of people who claim to be life coaches, business coaches, or success coaches. The scary thing is that most of them haven't achieved anything. If you find a life coach over the internet, how do you know they've actually achieved something? On the flip side, rich people can make for bad mentors too. In the movie Wall Street, the character Gordon Gekko says, "Greed is good." I made the mistake of taking this line to heart. I thought that greed was something from which I could draw motivation. The truth is that greed is not good. Ambition and passion are good. Greed is destructive. The first thing that happens when you get greedy is that your ethics become compromised. You want to make as much money as you can as fast as you can. And it doesn't matter who gets hurt along the way. However, if the person you are modeling yourself after is motivated by greed, you do not need to follow in their footsteps entirely. You can pick and choose which characteristics to emulate. You can emulate their ambition but not their greed. You can incorporate their strategies without incorporating their ethics. Be careful with who you pick as your mentor. Don't pick the unshaven guy on the side of the road wearing the dirty sweat pants, but don't pick the guy whose decisions violate your ethics. 5. They are controlled by fear. Fear is a natural part of the business world. If the path to success were clear-cut and infallible, then everyone would be wealthy. Because it isn't, everyone must deal with situations that make him or her anxious. There are 3 different ways to process and manage fear. The first 2 options will destroy your chances for a successful and healthy life, while the third gives you the mindset you need to use fear to your advantage. 1. They pretend that fear does not exist. The people who manage fear through ignoring it end up in a life filled with poverty and misery. By ignoring fear, you let it control you because you neither acknowledge it nor learn how to deal with it. Unacknowledged fear renders you impotent in your efforts to reach your goals, and this is the most disempowered state for wealth and success. 2. They act in spite of fear. This way of dealing with fear allows you to achieve certain goals despite being afraid. However, this leads you to a place in your life where you are wealthy and anxious. Yes, you will have wealth, but you will constantly be afraid of taking a wrong step. These people are hung up on the idea of, what if I fail, or what if I don't hit my goal? This results in a success lifestyle where you second-guess all your decisions and live in fear of failure. 3. They embrace fear and let it motivate them. These people achieve their goals and do so by acknowledging their fear without letting it ruin their enjoyment of their success. For they try to reinvent the wheel. Poor people always try to come up with something spectacular and new to make their fortune. This is the biggest trap you face as you work towards your goals. Instead of something new, what you need is a proven system, one that you know works and will help you gain successes. Warren Buffett once said, "When I buy a business, I want to make sure that the system is so good that even an idiot can run it, because sooner or later one will." I believe this statement, and that's why I developed the straight line system. It's so simple that I was able to use it to help hundreds of struggling companies and thousands of people become wealthy. What is the system that you have in place? Are you trying to reinvent the wheel, or do you have one that is proven? 3. They are lousy at business. I started my first business, Manchester Farms Meat and Seafood, when I was 21 years old. I started with one truck. And within 7 months I had 26 trucks and was a millionaire, except I was making every mistake in the book. My business was growing on credit, I overexpanded and was overcapitalized, and just like that I was out of business and bankrupt at 23. I made these mistakes because I didn't have any business experience. If you don't have any business experience, it's nothing to be ashamed of. No one is born with business skills. Someone has to teach or show you the ropes. This is why you must be so careful when choosing your mentor. You want to make sure that you're getting the best information available. 2. They are uncomfortable with words like sales, marketing, and persuasion. Either you're selling and persuading or you're failing. You may not sell products, but you have to have the ability to sell yourself and your concepts. You don't need to master persuasion, but you need to become effective at it. It is the most crucial skill that any person could have. Even Warren Buffett, who many don't think of as being a master salesman, has admitted publicly that persuasion is the single most important skill he has. You don't need to become a hardcore salesperson, but you have to learn how to become an effective persuader so that you can share your ideas, concepts, and visions with other people, so they can invest in you. If you are able to sell your vision, people will follow you because you can show them the value as a human being. Without the proper persuasive abilities, you could create the next big microchip or the cure for cancer and no one would invest in your idea because you aren't able to influence them to do so. If you can't get others to buy into your ideas, you will fail at reaching your goals. This is why I created the straight line sales system. It is the most effective way to close any human being who is closable. There is no pressure involved for either the buyer or seller, and it isn't so much like selling as it is taking someone from one point to another in a logical decision-making process. 1. They slave away for a paycheck. There are only 2 jobs where you can make real money if you work for someone else. 1. If you work in a job that gives you a heavy commission. 2. If you work in the investment banking industry and can leverage off of a huge company's assets. Other than these 2 exceptions, if you really want to get ahead in life, you have to own your own business. I am not saying that you need to quit your job immediately. That is not what the straight line system is for. Instead, it shows you how to start a business without quitting your current job, without having to put up a lot of money, and how to raise, not borrow, money cheaply. At some point, if you want to be wealthy, you have to get into your own business. Otherwise, you are a pawn in someone else's game of chess. Wealth isn't built overnight, and poverty isn't caused by just one mistake. It's the result of daily habits, beliefs, and actions. If you identify even one of these 10 reasons in your own life and start changing it today, you'll already be moving toward financial freedom. Remember, success doesn't come from wishing. It comes from learning, taking action, and never giving up. If you found this video valuable, like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear this message.